All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another show where we talk pretty much about everything that goes on with Real Madrid. So today we're going to be talking about pretty much two things. I did want to go over the game yesterday, more in analysis. I didn't really get a chance to do a proper match reaction. I wish I would have done it a little longer. I wish I would have talked more. But unfortunately, I didn't have the time yesterday. And today I have a little bit more time, so I'll be talking more into depth about the game yesterday. Um, and I'll also be talking about something I don't want to talk about, something that I didn't think would come back, is about Mourinho to Real Madrid. Is he going to come to Real Madrid? So this is a topic, um, that has been talked about in the past, I would say 48 hours, because Mourinho, as everyone knows, has been sacked from Manchester United, which is something probably I didn't see coming. I do follow Manchester United quite a bit since my brother is a fan of Manchester United. So I tend to follow Manchester United. I follow the United stand also. Follow the latest news of Manchester United. And, and so I'll be talking more about Mourinho to Madrid. If it's a possibility, if it's not, why he's going to Madrid. So yeah, I'll be talking about that. So first of all, yeah, I wanted to do my analysis, my little review of the game yesterday versus the Antlers of Kashima. Um, so overall, yeah, we had I would say, pretty decent game. Nothing very special. Since the first 20-25 minutes, we did struggle quite a bit. And I would say the last 10 minutes or so, there was some points where, the game could have gone, 3-2, and who knows, it could have been 3-3, but um, you know, it's just speculation. Not, at the end, we won the game really. Um, so yeah, first of all, I did want to mention that I would say about at the second minute, or at the first minute actually, there was a good save from Courtois. One of the players from the Kashima Antlers shot it, and could have been straight up. Could have been a goal. Courtois made a really good save. So Courtois seems to be winning me over, surprisingly. I still a bit hesitant to kind of warm up to him, because he was an Atletico Madrid player, but now he is a Real Madrid player. Um, so yeah, it'll take some time. But slowly I'll get used to seeing him more and more. I still think Keylor Navas should be playing more. I still think Courtois should have worked his way into the team. Um, I don't understand the thing with Courtois and him not working his way into the team, him just going straight into the team. It doesn't make sense to me. Um, it could be that the president, told the coach to do so. Since Courtois was not really a signing that any coach really needed. It was more of a president. The president wanted to sign him. I am not sure why. We already had two pretty good goalkeepers. Not sure why the Courtois signing was made, but anywho, it was done. So he made a fine save in the first minute. And then in the third minute, again, Kashima Antlers had the chance to score from a corner. All I had to do was pretty much head it into the goal. That's it, because it was right there. It was such a good position to just head it in the goal, and everyone kind of missed it. So yeah, Kashima Antlers pretty much started on the right foot. But as the game settled in, Real Madrid started having chances. I would say about the 25th minute, Real Madrid really started playing free flowing football. Chances started coming in. Bale was causing all kinds of problems. I mean, Bale was fantastic yesterday. He was very good. From I would say from pretty much the first minutes, he was causing problems to Kashima Antlers. He was crossing. He was more crossing the ball towards the beginning, just putting in crosses, and he was doing really good. You could see that something was coming from him. And Benzema was okay. I would. Yeah, it just wasn't his best game. He did have a few chances where it kind of went close, but nothing spectacular from him. And that's okay. That's okay. I mean, that's just part of who he is. Um, And then Lucas Vasquez, he wasn't super good. Some of his passes were inaccurate. They were kind of the weight of the passes weren't very good sometimes. But he did track back. He did do his defensive duties. He's a hard worker. I really like him. So not super, but that's okay. You'll have some of those players. Obviously, Marcelo was fantastic. 2 assists for Marcelo to Gareth Bale. Marcelo is such an amazing player. You just never know what he's going to do on the ball. He's got all these tricks. He comes up with every time I see him, he always comes up with something that I've probably never seen before. And he's just really good. He's on a different level in terms of his dribbling skills. He is really good. So yeah, Marcelo was fantastic yesterday. Modric was also good. Had a couple good through passes. So overall, he had a good performance. Varane was really good. I was really happy to see him put in a great performance. And Ramos was pretty solid, I would say. Nothing special or wow, but he put in a pretty solid performance. And the one thing I didn't understand yesterday, actually, from the coach, now that I think about it, was the Bale substitution for Asensio. I did not understand that at all because Asensio, the game before, who was obviously carrying a knock. Then again, I don't know what's going on behind the dressing room, things like that. Did Asensio tell the coach he was fit or what was going on? But Asensio was carrying a knock the game before. He was a major doubt for this game. And for some reason, Solari did put Asensio on. And, 15 minutes later, Asensio gets a little injury. He gets a little niggle. So I did not understand that substitution. But, it happens. And so, yeah, obviously when Kashima Antlers, went down 1-0, it seems like the morale of the team went down, and there was a little lapse of concentration. And from there, it was pretty easy to penetrate against their midfield and their defense. They just seemed to go down a level, and they just had a lapse of concentration. And Bale took advantage of that, scored a hat trick, and it was fantastic. I mean, we were 3-0 up, so. But yeah, obviously towards the last 10 minutes, it was a little scary. Real Madrid were pretty sloppy. The coach Solari was, getting on the players' backs and telling them to be more composed, to not give the ball away so easily, because it did seem like Real Madrid were giving the ball very easily towards the last 10 minutes of the game. And yeah, I wanted to reiterate the second goal. It was a pass from Yamamoto, and I think he tried to pass it to the defender, which was Shuto. And it all seemed very confusing because it was not very exact. The pass wasn't very exact, and so the defender and the goalie were confused on who was going to get the ball. And really, the defender, I think, is Shuto. I think he should have done a lot better there. I think he should have cleared it, just get it out of there. Very, very weak, wishy-washy, kick out of the goalie's range. And then all Gareth Bale had to do was just, kick it in, and very, very easy finish. So yeah, and also a thing I liked, like I said, Bale gives credits to his teammates. Obviously, Ronaldo was doing that also, and it's not another dig at Ronaldo, but Ronaldo always seems to make it about him, in one way or another. And I didn't really like that in the, obviously he's a good player, we kind of have to give him that, but I didn't really like that. It didn't really fit with, with the values that I like to see in a dressing room or among players. So yeah, I really like that Bale gives credits to his teammates, and I really hope that he continues like this. I really hope that he continues to score goals, that he continues to prove the media wrong, that he's really the main man, that he's really the right guy. I have backed him since the first day at Real Madrid. I really wanted him to do good because he is a good player. and he really deserves it. I mean, to come up from from Southampton to being the main man at Real Madrid is something else. Um, so yeah, I hope Bale continues like this. So that's pretty much my game analysis yesterday. It's pretty much the things I forgot to cover. And the second thing that I want to talk about, yeah, it's something that I don't really want to talk about a lot, but it has to come up. It's come up in the media quite a bit, and I'm sure there is some truth to it if it's coming up in the media constantly. Um, it's about Jose Mourinho being linked to Real Madrid. Now that's a little scary, very scary actually for me, because as we all know, Mourinho is a very controversial figure or character, and we can see that at Manchester United. He clearly divides the fan base and clearly divides the dressing room. Did that at Real Madrid also. Did it at Chelsea, and it's gonna happen again. If he comes to Real Madrid, it will happen again. He will divide the dressing room, and so yeah, there's the rumors that are still linking him to Real Madrid. The president and Mourinho seem to be on good terms. Seems like they might have not finished off on bad terms, if I'm not mistaken. I think the problem was more with the players. Mourinho and the players were not on good terms when Mourinho left in 2013. And so that's why Mourinho had to go. But otherwise, with the president, I think he finished on good terms. And I think that's why they're still on good terms, and that's why I think the president is still contacting him and kind of wants him to come back, which really baffles me. Um, but yeah, and then according to ESPN FC, obviously not the best of sources, but I will say what they said today, or yesterday, which is that Florentino Perez wants, to a certain extent, want a guy that can disrupt the dressing room again and break dominance that Sergio Ramos and his acolytes seem to have, on the dressing room. He wants a strong manager after Zidane and Ancelotti who can whip them into shape. So the Sergio Ramos factor is very present, and it makes or breaks the coaches. And Florentino Perez wants to be in charge. He wants the dressing room atmosphere changed. So I think what they're trying to get at is that right now it seems like Sergio Ramos is just leading everything at Madrid. And he is a very strong figure. He has a strong personality. The coach does probably have some, I wouldn't say conflict, but they are two massive egos, and that will clash. And I'm sure that what Florentino Perez wants is for Sergio Ramos not to be so much in charge. And if Mourinho comes back, then he can create kind of a division in the dressing room where Sergio Ramos doesn't become in charge as much. Obviously that'll take off some of Sergio Ramos' power in the dressing room, and among the players too. Obviously not a very good idea, but Florentino Perez, he is kind of. We all know that he'll do some weird stuff. He's at the end he is a kind of a guy who lusts for money. He goes for money. He'll do anything for money. He's kind of he's a politician, to some extent, and so I shouldn't say there's anything to do with that, but I mean, obviously he wants the power to himself. He doesn't want to share that power with anyone else, and Sergio Ramos seems to be having a lot of that right now, and it's too much for him. It's like he knows too much, and it's not good, So he kind of wants to disrupt that. So that's why he wants to bring Mourinho in, and that's why he thinks it might be a good reason. However, it's not a good idea, not at all. It will end badly, and probably he knows that too, but he's willing to take the risk. And as we know with Manchester United, it ended very badly under Mourinho. Very, very, very toxic. The dressing room was just very, very, very divided. Um, whenever this is the thing with Mourinho too. He also has his favorites. When Fellaini would score a goal, Mourinho would just celebrate in a euphoric way, just very elated when Fellaini celebrated, and and that's just so petty, so annoying. You just really don't need that. When Martial would celebrate, or when Martial would score, he was, barely celebrating. You know, it and whenever Fellaini did something bad, never did he criticize Fellaini. When Martial did something bad, it was just always criticized. And that's the thing that we don't want, and that's the thing that will happen if he comes to Real Madrid, is he will have his favorites again, and that won't include Sergio Ramos, because Sergio Ramos has a big ego, and he's dominant in the dressing room, and Mourinho obviously doesn't like that. He had a big clash with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is a big personality, big ego, and so and at the end, as you can see, they were barely talking. If anything, they weren't even talking at all. So so obviously there will be some problems with Sergio Ramos, and Ramos might end up leaving if Mourinho comes. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. And Mourinho just likes he doesn't like flair players. He likes people who works hard, who gives 100% for the team. I feel like he likes people who don't have as much flair but who works hard. You know, that includes maybe like some of the players that he would play in 2011, which was Esteban Granero and Pedro Leon, who after Mourinho weren't really popular figures at Real Madrid, but they would work hard for the team, and that's the kind of players that he likes. And so, he won't play Galacticos. Does that include Bale to some extent? It could. Asensio. Asensio is young. Will he play Asensio all the time? When Asensio makes a mistake, will he bench Asensio and just put someone else? It's a possibility. When Martial would make a mistake, next week he was on the bench, and that's that. With Fellaini, if he made a mistake, next week he gets to play again. It's ridiculous. The amount of favoritism with Mourinho was just too much. So that's what ESPN FC had to say about the whole situation, which is a possibility. It seems like Mourinho could come to Real Madrid if Solari doesn't do well. So far, Solari has done a decent job. Does it convince Florentino Perez? I have a feeling that it doesn't convince him fully. 9 out of 11 wins is pretty good. Obviously they're scraping the wins, and when they lose, it's pretty bad. I mean, they lost 3-0 to Eibar and 3-0 to CSKA Moscow, which is things we didn't see before. So obviously Florentino Perez has his little qualms, but hopefully Solari can really convince him so that Mourinho doesn't come in, because I don't want to see Mourinho near Real Madrid. It would be toxic. It would be horrible. It'd just be a catastrophe. It'll end horribly. It'll be the most frustrating thing ever. I know at Manchester United it was very frustrating to see Mourinho there. For everyone who supported Manchester United. So I would not want to see him anywhere near the club. And he's also been linked to Inter, so there's a possibility that he might go to Inter. He ended on good terms with Inter, so that might just happen. Obviously, the Portugal job is another option for him. So we don't know what's gonna happen with him, and his father did die, or passed. I should say his father passed away last year, so that also has affected him greatly. He hasn't really had the chance to grieve because he was working at the time for Manchester United when his father died, and he hasn't really had the time to grieve. And when your parent passes away, it's such a big it takes such a big toll on your life in a negative way. It's really hard. to cope with, and probably I'm sure that Mourinho had that in him, that he wasn't able to cope with it that much, and that's probably why he got angry at the players, and he had some pent up frustration or sadness, or I don't know what it was, but when your parents do pass away, it's something that's not easy. So yeah, he's linked to Madrid. 18 million a year. That's quite a substantial amount of money. And I really hope that he doesn't come to Real Madrid. I really do not want to see him at Real Madrid. I know he'll just ruin the club like he did in 2013. 2013, it was a mess. If he comes back, it will be shambolic also. I do not want to see it. So that's that. Those are the news for Madrid for right now. The next game won't go until the 3rd of January. So in the meantime, I'll try to do some videos about the transfer rumors. Will we get any new players? And just news that's been going on around Real Madrid. I'll probably do a video about Isco also. I've heard some rumors that he's been linked to Manchester City. So is that possible? It certainly is, but in January, not a very long time for Isco to be unhappy. It's not convincing enough. But anyways, I'll talk about that more in other videos. So transfers. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Obviously now I have subscribers. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to see the channel growing. I hope that the channel grows quite a bit more. I really want to see the channel grow to an extent that I can reach out to a lot of Real Madrid fans. And yeah, hopefully go live too to chat with some of you guys too. And yeah, so yeah, if you guys are not subscribed, please do subscribe, because I will be making more videos like this. I am doing, I guess you could say, more research on Real Madrid. I'm trying to get updated on everything that goes on. So yeah, this is maybe a good kind of place to go to if you're not updated on the current situation at Real Madrid. I will try to update you guys with everything. And yeah, so stay subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. As everyone says, subscribe, like, share, but yeah, just click subscribe, so that way I can get more of a fan base and interact with all of you. So yeah, also in the future, I hope to go live on YouTube, so that way I can chat with some of you guys. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.